Hello, welcome to Indie Tutorials. My name is Guillermo and I would like to thank the patrons supporting this channel. Okay, so today we are going to cover the creation of the schemata. So far we have the red schema and we have the blue schema. So let's create the yellow one and that will get us our main schemata. In the future we are going to handle having these presets, but for now just focus on having these three main schema. So let's go to the ORK Framework. And let's go to the Combatants. Then again Combatant section, and we have the red schemata, the blue schemata. So what we can do is just to copy one of those. I will pick up the red schemata and click on copy and give it the name of Yellow Schema. There we go. And for the resource, for the icon, let's pick up our Yellow Schema resource. So this will be the Yellow Schema icon. Click on that one. Let's save the changes. And as you might notice, right now this schema is pointed out to the prefab for the red schemata and the red schemata battle. So let's duplicate those and build up the new schema. Also, what I'm going to do is to move up this schema to have the three main schema together, but remember that will break the index on some of our logic, so we will need to revisit those. So let's move up the schema. So red, yellow and blue. Red, yellow and blue. Okay. Save the changes and let's continue. Okay, so let's close it up, the ORK Framework editor, and let's go to our project folder, and we have the garbs in the resources. Yep, here we have in the prefab section we have this schemata. So what we need to do is to duplicate those. So click on Ctrl D for the one that we are using the field, and Ctrl D for the one for the battle. And let's rename it accordingly. There we go. I will speed up a little bit the video so to keep it short. Okay, now that we have the garb and the schema, the yellow schema, let's before anything else, let's rebuild our ORK constants class, and then open up ORK Framework editor. Let's go Window, ORK Framework, and here in the yellow schemata, let's change in the first place. Let's go to the folder, and we have in the prefabs schemata, so let's select the simple one for the field, and then the underscore battle for battle system. Save the changes. Okay, so let's review. Red, yellow, and blue. And here we are missing the conditional prefab, so let's create the conditional prefab. Let's select the blue schemata, and we have a condition, so let's click on add game variable, and the value is in battle, and this is a boolean, and let's leave it the is valid checked. So save the settings again, and let's continue. So far we have the three schemas, but the yellow schema is missing the garb. So let's go now into the inventory, equipments, armors, and let's create our Electronica schema or garb, let's say. So for that I will duplicate again the equilibrium, so click on copy, rename it to Electronica. We can of course leave the item type to garb, and in here we have the prefabs settings, so let's select here the red garb, sorry, the Electronica garb. There we go. Save the settings. Since we have created a new armor, we need to assign this new equipment to the class. So let's go back to the combatant classes, lining class, and if we scroll down, we have the abilities. Where is it? Let me close this one. Equipment parts, and here in armors we need to check that this Electronica garb is going to be available for all the members belonging to this lining class. Alrighty, so let's continue. The next, what we are going to do to build up this yellow schema is to create a new weapon and a new shield. I will again speed up the video because this is something that we already did before, so let's go. Okay, now that the weapon is done, the prefab, let's go to the ORK Framework editor. Let me just release it. Release the Kraken. There we go. So we are already under the Devil's Daughter. So let's select our prefab. There we go. Let me check. We have equipment settings, weapon, any buffers that we need to remove. It's giving 170 of strength and 70 points of magic. Let's leave it like that. And save the settings. We have created a new weapon, so we need to add it to the class. So classes, lightning class, weapons, and check. So it will be available for all the schemas belonging to this class. Later on we change the type. I can't remember right now to which type this sword belongs to. Save the settings again, and let's do now the same for the shield, the new shield. So I will speed up again the video. Okay, for the shield, let's duplicate the Nile Horus. So copy those and let's rename it to Prytwen. I don't know if I pronounced this okay. Let's remove the icon. Again, I can't remember right now for which type this shield belongs to, but let's just assign the right prefab. Save the settings. Let me see if there is any buffers. Yeah, let's remove the max health buffer or bonus and click on save. Once again, let's go back to the combatants, classes, lightning class, and in the equipment armor section now we have to check the Prytwen. Save the settings again, and the last step is to go to our new schema. So we are already in the combatant section. Let's go to combatants, Yellow Schema. Let's close everything and let's go to the inventory and equipment, and in the start equipment settings, start equipment, we have here equipment set 0. Since we copy this one from the red schema, now we need to check for the garb is going to be Electronica, for the weapon is going to be Devil's Daughters, and for the shield is going to be Prytwen. There we go. So click on save and let's move on. So as I mentioned before, since we move the order of the schemas or the combatants, let's say the index changed. So any logic that was previously bound to any index is broken now. So let's, for example, let's check in the events our game start event. So let's open game event and we have start game event. So let's make sure that the red schema is still pointing to index 0. If we go, let me close the editor. So we have this prefab for the trap. Let me click F, and we had on the game started event interaction. This is to load the field. So yes, we made this to prototype dealing damage. So here in the damage dealer, let me collapse these settings here. You will see that it's checking for the ability trap, but the enemy assigned is the blue schemata, so this is wrong, so we need to change it back to environmental damage. Okay, and also in the combatant spawner where we are spawning chomper, if we scroll down, now it's pointing to the environmental damage, so no, this is going to be chomper. There we go. I believe that should be it. So let's save the change in the scene. And the next step will be to modify the battle start event in order to create the 2 extra combatants and hide them from the battle. We don't want them to be spawned right away. So let's continue implementing that logic.